At 1 a.m., my wife's screen lights up again, and she turns her shoulder like I'm the threat. That's when I stop asking what's wrong with us and start asking what's been compromised. My name is Ryan Caldwell. I used to wear a uniform and sleep wherever my rifle hit the dirt. Now I run corporate cybersecurity for North Peak Energy and live in a house that costs more than my first platoon's entire gear budget. Seattle looks clean from our windows. Glass, water, lights that never quit. Inside, it's been 4 months of a different kind of combat. The kind where nothing is loud, but everything is hostile. Emily hasn't touched me in 4 months. Not a sleepy hand on the chest. Not a lazy kiss. Not a half-hearted reach in the dark. She sleeps facing away like I'm heat she can't stand. If I shift too close, she pulls back like my skin is an inconvenience. Tonight, the house is in night mode. The smart lights are dimmed. The security panel glows faintly in the hall. The thermostat holds steady like it's proud of itself. And at 1 a.m., her phone buzzes. Not a long ring, just that sharp, private vibration that feels like a secret being tapped out in Morse code. Emily's eyes open fast. Too fast. She doesn't look confused. She looks ready. She rolls slightly and shields the screen from me with her shoulder, thumb moving in quick, practiced strokes. The light from it paints her cheekbone, makes her look younger, happier. Not for me. I keep my breathing even. Marines learn early. Anger is loud. Control is quiet. You okay? I ask like I'm asking about the weather. She doesn't look at me. Go back to sleep. Her voice isn't tired. It's irritating, like I'm interrupting something important. I stare at the ceiling until my eyes burn. Then I get up without a word. Bare feet on warm wood. The house doesn't creak. Money buys silence. It doesn't buy peace. In the kitchen, I pour water and don't drink it. The digital clock on the oven reads 1:07. My brain does the thing it always does when something doesn't fit. It starts organizing. I check the date on my phone. Is technically today our first date anniversary. The one we used to joke about because it felt stupid at first and then became ours. Emily hasn't mentioned it. No calendar reminder. No hint. No playful comments. Nothing. That's when the feeling shifts. This doesn't feel like normal marriage fatigue. Fatigue is sloppy. Fatigue is inconsistent. This has a pattern. A rhythm. Distance applied the same way every day, like pressure on a wound to keep it from bleeding where anyone can see. In my world, when a system changes behavior without explanation, you don't talk it out and hope for the best. You assume compromise. I stand in my own kitchen, staring at a glass of water, and the thought lands clean. My marriage isn't tiring. It's being managed. And if that's true, I'm already late to the incident response. Seattle morning comes in like a bruise, gray, wet, quiet in that way that makes the whole city feel half asleep. I'm already up when Emily steps into the kitchen. Hair done, light makeup, not work presentable. More like she's going somewhere she wants to be seen. She moves with a calm energy I haven't gotten from her in months. It isn't joy exactly. It's anticipation. She doesn't greet me. Not really. Just a quick glance that checks my position like I'm furniture that might be in the way. The espresso machine hisses. The house smells like roasted beans and expensive dish soap. She taps on her phone while the coffee pours, eyes flicking to the screen like she's waiting for a green light. Her phone buzzes, and she reacts too fast. Not a casual glance. It's a snap, hand closing around it, screen tilted away, thumb already moving. Hungry for whatever's there. Like the message matters more than the room she's standing in. I watch without staring. The trick isn't to look away. The trick is to look normal. You're in early mode, I say, keeping it light. I have a lot going on, she answers. No warmth. No edge either. Just that flat, efficient tone she uses when she wants the conversation to end. I nod and open my laptop at the island like I'm checking email. I'm not. I'm watching her reflection on the dark screen. She's dressed better than usual. Fitted coat, clean shoes, earrings she hasn't worn in a while. She checks herself in the microwave door like it's a mirror. The attention isn't for me. That part is obvious. What's the day look like? Ask. Still dealing with Tokyo? She doesn't hesitate. That's what hits me first. Yeah, she says smoothly, like she's reading from a script she's already memorized. Tokyo office is a mess. Calls, reviews, a couple escalations. I might be late. She takes a sip, eyes down, calm as a surgeon. But I know something she doesn't. Tokyo is closed. Not rumored. Not maybe downsizing. Closed weeks ago. I was in a leadership briefing where it came up, buried under a slide deck about restructuring. I remember because the room got quiet for half a second, like everyone was acknowledging the people who'd get wiped off the org chart. I don't correct her. I don't react. I don't do the husband thing where you scramble for reassurance. I just let the lie exist. Because a lie like that isn't a mistake. It's not a slip. It's too clean. Too comfortable. It's been practiced in her mouth until it sounds like the truth. She grabs her bag and moves toward the door, checking her phone one more time on the way out. She pauses just long enough to type a final message. Then she looks at me like she remembers I'm there. Don't wait up, she says. It's a normal sentence. In our house, it lands like a warning. The door seals behind her with that expensive, soft latch. The smart lock clicks. The security cameras continue recording like always. I sit alone in a kitchen that looks staged for a magazine and feel something settle in my chest. Cold, heavy, certain. Arguments can be fixed. Silence can be worked through. Distance can heal if it's honest. But a clean lie means you're not in the same reality anymore. It means you're being handled. And it means the person you married has already chosen what you're allowed to know. I close my laptop, still calm, and finally admit the thing my instincts have been circling since 1 a.m. This isn't drifting. This is concealment. The moment her car leaves the driveway, the house feels bigger. Not empty, just honest. No performance. I don't pace. I don't text. I don't do anything that would show up later out of desperation. I go to my home office, shut the door, and sit the way I used to sit before a mission brief. Still, squared up, breathing slowly. In my world, you don't swing on shadows. You confirm. First rule. Don't tip your hand. Emily lives in this house like it's a stage, but it's also a system, smart locks, cameras, a mesh network, connected devices all talking. People forget those conversations leave traces. They think silence means nothing happened. Silence is data. I start with what's mine and what I'm authorized to see. Nothing exotic. Nothing sloppy. Just the same discipline checks I do at work when something feels off. Log reviews, location histories on shared services, baseline behavior versus anomalies. Patterns show up fast when you stop pretending you don't see them. Her phone and car data line up with a new routine. Midday gaps that don't fit meetings or errands. The timing is too consistent. The windows are too clean. Not random. Scheduled. Then the geography starts repeating. Bellevue. Not downtown. Not a client site. Not her usual loop. A tight cluster of pings that keep circling the same few blocks like an orbit. I cross-reference with mundane things. Mileage that's higher than it should be. Charges that don't match her too tired nights. Little lifestyle upgrades that appeared without explanation. A new skincare brand. A boutique clothing purchase. 2 dinners priced like celebrations. Not convenience. On their own, each one is nothing. Together, they form a picture sharp enough to cut. I pull public address records and business listings, not breaking into anything, just confirming the physical world against the digital one. The cluster lands on a discreet boutique hotel that advertises privacy like it's a feature. My jaw tightens once. Then it relaxes. This is how it always goes. People think betrayal is chaos. Most of the time, it's routine. It's calendar blocked. It's repeatable. I save everything into a clean folder structure, time-stamped, labeled, organized the way you'd build an evidence package, not a jealous husband spiral. Because I'm not confronting without a map. And now I have the first edge of one. That night at the office, the building feels like it's holding its breath. After-hours lighting, empty halls, the low hum of cooling systems that never sleep. I've always liked server rooms for that reason. Machines don't pretend. I'm down there for legitimate work. A routine security review, audit trail checks, cleanup. The kind of thing nobody questions because it keeps the company alive. I move steady, badge where it belongs, face neutral. And I keep my eyes open. Emily's phone habits have been loud without realizing it. The way she shields the screen, the way she reacts to certain notifications like they're oxygen. HR comes up more than it should for a married woman who hates talking about her day. So I verify the simplest thing a security guy verifies: what a label is hiding. Not the content. Not anything dramatic. Just the metadata, numbers, timestamps, frequency. The skeleton of a conversation tells you plenty. The contact saved as HR isn't HR. It's a direct line to Nathan Blake, North Peak Energy's CFO. I stare at the name like it's a misread at first, like my eyes are trying to protect me by refusing to see what's there. But systems don't lie. People do. I pull the thread back through time message patterns, spikes at 1 a.m., weekends, the same Bellevue windows I've already mapped. The work excuses, the Tokyo lie. It all snaps into alignment so clean it almost feels respectful. Then I see enough of the tone to know exactly what this is. Starts professionally, short, safe, corporate. Then it slides. Inside jokes. Familiarity. Late-night comfort that doesn't belong to a married woman. Words that read like hands in the dark. And then the contempt. Not shouted. Not emotional. Casual. Like they're discussing an old appliance that still turns on but isn't worth keeping. Harmless. Disposable. That's what they call me. My body doesn't explode. My hands don't shake. I don't give them the satisfaction of a reaction they'll never see. I just go still. Because betrayal is bad. But betrayal with coordination is something else. It means two people looked at my life and decided it was theirs to edit. And now the betrayal has a face. A title. A man I can put in a room under light with consequences. I close the file, lock my expression into place, and walk out of the server room like nothing happened. Inside, the truth rearranges everything. Quietly, permanently. For the next few weeks, I will play my role. I'm the husband who doesn't notice the locked screen angled away. The man who accepts long day like it means anything. The guy who keeps his voice even and his posture relaxed. Because the easiest way to catch someone is to let them keep believing they're smart. I brought flowers once. Not a grand gesture, simple, clean, the kind you can pretend is habit. Emily looks at them like they're a misdelivered package. You didn't have to, she says. I wanted to, I answered. She sets them on the counter without smelling them. At night, she stays cold. Not angry, not guilty, just absent. Like she's already living somewhere else and only visits this house to recharge. I keep the house running. I cook. I clean. I say good morning. I ask about her day the way a polite coworker would. I make myself predictable. Safe. The anniversary comes and goes. Our first date anniversary. The one we used to treat like a private holiday. That morning I mentioned it once, casually, like it's no big deal. Today's that day. I say, sipping coffee. She doesn't even blink. Ryan, I can't. I'm exhausted. Maybe this weekend. No apology. No softness. Just dismissal wrapped in fatigue. Okay, I say. One word. No fight. That night she came home late. Drops her keys quieter than usual. Doesn't meet my eyes. Goes straight to the shower like she's rinsing off a place that isn't ours. I don't ask questions. Questions are for men who still think they're being told the truth. 2 days later, I'm doing laundry, normal domestic stuff, the kind of thing that makes you look harmless. Her coat is draped over a chair in the entryway. Designer. Clean. The pockets sit heavy. I don't rush. I don't tear through it like a teenage kid looking for evidence. I reach in and pull out folded paper. A receipt. Restaurant header. Date. Time. Table for two. Champagne. Oysters. A plated dessert with some ridiculous name that costs what my mom used to spend on groceries for a week. The timestamp landed right in the middle of the night and she told me she was too tired to celebrate. I stand there holding a thin strip of paper that weighs more than the coat. This isn't just cheating. Cheating can be weakness, impulse, or stupidity. This is choice. She didn't forget me. She replaced me. She didn't drift away. She walked away in heels, ordered champagne, and laughed across a table while I sat in our kitchen pretending I still had a wife. I don't crumple the receipt. I don't shout her name. I don't do anything that would make this emotional. I took a photo, front and back. I log it. I file it like a piece of physical evidence. Then I fold it back exactly the way I found it and slide it into her pocket again. Because now it's not about my hurt. It's about exposure. And I'm done treating this like a marriage problem. I'm treating it like an operation. Once you see the pattern, you stop staring at the marriage and start staring at the system around it. Affairs leave emotions. Crimes leave trails. I shift focus to the part of the world that doesn't care how charming you are. Numbers, approvals, signatures, timestamps. The stuff that holds up in rooms where nobody asks how you felt. At work, I don't dig. I will review. I audit. I do my job the way I'm paid to do it, clean, documented, inside policy. That matters. If this turns into a legal fight, I'm not handing anyone a reason to discredit the truth. The first anomaly is small. A vendor name I don't recognize, billed as strategic marketing consulting. One invoice, then another, then a neat monthly rhythm. The amounts are always just under the threshold that would trigger deeper review. Whoever set it up wasn't stupid. I pull the vendor file. The address is a mailbox service. The phone number routes to a deadline. The consultant has a website full of stock photos and vague promises. Nothing real. Just enough to look legitimate if you don't look twice. So I look twice, then 3 times. I connect approvals and see the same names touching the workflow like fingerprints. Nathan Blake's office and quietly Emily's. Not just as a bystander, as a helper, nudging, smoothing, redirecting questions, removing friction. I follow internal email threads tied to the invoices and the budget shifts. The language is careful, corporate, and polite, but the intent is clear. Push money through, keep attention off it, and punish anyone who asks the wrong questions. One executive gets painted as uncooperative. Another gets left off meetings. A third gets boxed out of visibility right before performance reviews. The sabotage with a smile. By the time I'm done, the total isn't pocket change. It's millions. And something in me relaxes, not because I'm relieved, but because I'm no longer trapped in a personal argument. This isn't just my wife choosing another man. This is 2 people treating the company and everyone under it like a resource to strip. Now I have a path that doesn't rely on heartbreak. It relies on documents. Harold Moore doesn't do drama. He built North Peak from a rented suite and a folding table, and everyone in the building knows the same rule. If you walk into his office, you'd better be holding something real. I request 15 minutes. No subject line beyond risk briefing. No emotion in the ask. Just time. He gave it to me the same day. His office sits on the top floor. Glass walls, clean angles, the city laid out like a map beneath him. Harold is standing when I enter, sleeves rolled up, no tie, the kind of posture that says he's never needed permission. Caldwell, he says. Talk. I don't sit until he does. Old habits. I slide a folder across his desk. Printed summaries, timelines, financial trails, and a clear index. I've learned that powerful men don't want a story. They want structure. This is a coordinated fraud scheme, I say. Shell vendor, invoice slicing, approval manipulation. Total exposure is in the millions. His eyes move fast, not reading every word, scanning for weight, for truth. He's done this his whole life. He knows what a clean package means. And, I add, keeping my voice level, it's tied to Nathan Blake. Harold's jaw tightens. Just once. I set the second packet down. Smaller, cleaner. The kind of thing you don't want on your desk but can't pretend isn't there. And my wife, Emily. That one lands. He doesn't flinch, but the temperature in the room drops. The man's expression doesn't turn angry. Turns cold. Like a door closing behind his eyes. He flips to the communication summary. Then the timeline. The hotel location correlations. The approval chains. The internal sabotage threads. He looks up at me. You're sure? I verified every file. I say. Multiple sources. Consistent pattern. No assumptions. Harold leans back, Silent. The city keeps moving outside the window like nothing's happening. Inside, something final is forming. Finally, he speaks. Charity Gala is tomorrow. Yes, sir. He nods once, small and decisive. Good. That's where they'll be comfortable. That's where the donors are. That's where the board shows up. His eyes go back to the folder like it's a target. We'll make an example, he says. I don't smile. I don't celebrate. I just absorb the timing like a mission clock starting. Because now it isn't just my truth. It's the one person in the building who can turn truth into consequences. And he just picked the stage. The Grand Aurora Hotel smells like money and polished wood. Crystal lights overhead. Black suits. Dresses that cost more than my first car. People smiling like they're being paid to. Emily is perfect in this environment. She moves through the room with that practiced corporate wife glide. Chin up, laugh ready, hand on my arm only when someone important is watching. To anyone else, we look like the kind of couple you put on a brochure. Nathan Blake circles near the stage like he already owns tomorrow. He shakes hands, collects praise, throws out quiet jokes. He's comfortable. He thinks he's untouchable. I don't glare. I don't brood. I blend. A Marine learns early. The loud man gets watched. The quiet man gets close. Harold Moore arrives without ceremony. But the room shifts anyway. Founders have gravity. He walks straight to the front, exchanges a few words with event staff, then takes the stage like it belongs to him because it does. He taps the mic once. Smiles at the crowd. The smile doesn't reach his eyes. Thank you for being here, he says. Tonight is about integrity, what we give, what we build, and what we protect. People nod. They clap at the right times. Emily leans toward a donor and smiles, relaxed, like she's already won. Then Harold turns slightly and gestures to the screen behind him. The display lights up. At first, it looks like a normal corporate slide. Clean fonts, neat headings, a timeline, a chart. Everyone stays polite. Then the subject line appears. Vendor payments, irregularities. Numbers scroll. Approvals, dates, names. Nathan's smile falters for half a second, then tries to come back. Harold keeps going. We've discovered a breach of trust within our leadership. The screen changes again. Message timestamps. Frequency spikes. Late-night patterns. A contact label, HR. Then the real name beside it, Nathan Blake. The room doesn't gasp. It does something worse. It goes quiet. Emily stiffens beside me. Her hand tightens on my arm. Not affectionate now. Possessive, panicked, like she can squeeze reality back into place. Harold doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't need to. He turns the page for them. Not intimate, not graphic, just enough to prove what it is. Coordination, deception, contempt. Evidence that belongs in a board packet and a courtroom, not a ballroom. Nathan takes a step back like he's going to slip out. Security is already there. Two men in dark suits move in smooth, practiced angles and block him without a scene. Nathan's eyes dart, calculating exits that aren't available. Emily's breathing changes. Shorter, faster. She leans into me and hisses, low and sharp, "Fix this." I look at her for the first time all night. Her eyes aren't pleading. They're demanding, like I owe her rescue. I keep my voice calm. I verified every file. That's when it hits her. Not that she's caught. That I didn't stumble into the truth. I built it, labeled it, handed it to the one man in the room who would pull the trigger in public. Her grip loosens like her body finally understands she's holding on to someone she can't move anymore. On stage, Harold closes the folder in front of everyone without touching paper. And that, he says, is the last time North Peak energy will be used by people who mistake access for entitlement. The silence that follows isn't confusion. Its consequences are arriving. Fallout doesn't come with sirens. It comes with email subject lines and locked doors. By the next morning, North Peak's internal directory looks like it's been through a controlled burn. Nathan Blake's profile is gone. Not inactive. Gone. The kind of deletion that tells everyone who matters that the company has already decided the outcome. My phone lights up with the predictable wave. Colleagues checking in, friends fishing for gossip, a couple people acting like they always saw it coming. I answer none of it. Noise doesn't help. Noise is how people get pulled back into fights they've already won. At the office, legal moves fast when the evidence is clean. Termination paperwork, forensic imaging, vendor freezes, a quiet visit from auditors who don't smile. When Harold Moore makes a decision, the building aligns around it. Nobody wants to be the person who hesitated. Emily doesn't call right away. She texts. That's how she's always done it when she wants control. Drop words like hooks, make you respond, make you participate. We need to talk. This is getting out of hand. Ryan, answer me. I read them once and put the phone face down. No response is a response. I spent weeks building a record. During that time, I also built something else. Separation. I changed every code in the house the same way I would rotate credentials after a breach. Smart locks, garage opener, alarm panel, guest codes, even the access rules on the cameras. Our home went from shared to secured in under 10 minutes. Then I packed. Not in a rage. Not throwing drawers across the room. Calm, methodical, respectful to the fact that I'm not a teenager. I used gloves for anything I thought might become evidence later. Fingerprints, claims, accusations. I photographed every item before it went into a box. Dated it. Logged it. Clean chain of custody even in my own garage. You don't win these situations by being the angriest man in the room. You win by being the man nobody can paint as unstable. By late afternoon, her things are stacked in neat columns. Clothes, shoes, toiletries, personal documents. No jewelry she didn't purchase herself. No shared property. No or anything. I'm not petty, but I'm not generous either. Generosity is for people who acted in good faith. I print the papers when my lawyer confirms the language is tight. Divorce petition. Temporary restraining order request because I don't trust what panic will make her do, and because I'm done letting my home be a revolving door for her moods. When the Seattle rain starts, it's steady and cold, the kind that soaks through everything and makes the city feel like it's shrinking. At 8:17 p.m., the driveway camera pings. Emily is at the front door. No umbrella. Hair pinned back like she tried to look composed and lost the fight. The coat was darkened by water. Her face is sharp with anger and fear both, like she can't decide which one will work better on me. She goes straight for the keypad. One attempt. Red light. Second attempt. Red light. A third, faster, like speed can beat a system. Red light again. She pounds the door with the side of her fist. Not a polite knock. A demand. I don't rush to open it. I walk over at an even pace, like I'm answering a delivery. I slide the security chain into place and open the door halfway. Cold air and rain smell push in. Emily looks at the chain first. Then she looks at me like she's offended the house is obeying me. Open it, she says. No. Her eyes flick down to my hands. I'm holding a folder. White paper. Clean edges. What is that? She asks, already knowing. Divorce papers, I say, and a restraining order. She laughs once, sharp and fake. You're insane. I don't blink. Read them. She reaches for the folder and I don't give it up right away. I hold it between us like a line drawn in ink. You locked me out, she says, voice rising. You can't do that. This is my house too. It was, I answered, when you were still my wife. That lands. Not because it's clever, because it's true. Her face tightens and she switches tactics like she's flipping through a mental playbook. Ryan, you don't understand what happened, she says softer now. This got twisted. Harold, he made it public. I didn't want it like that. I finally handed her the folder. You wanted it private because private lets you deny it. She grips the papers and scans the first page like she expects it to change if she hates it hard enough. This is retaliation, she spits. You're doing this because you're embarrassed. I'm doing this because you're not safe for my life, I say. Emotionally, financially, professionally. You weren't tired. You weren't confused. You were lying on purpose. Her mouth opens, then closes. She tries to push forward like if she can just get inside, she can reclaim territory. The chain stops her. "Let me in," she says. "We can talk. Like adults." "We are talking," I tell her. "From here." Rain runs off her chin. Her eyes shine, but it's not soft. It's frustrating. She's realizing the leverage is gone. "You think you're some kind of hero," she says. "You think you won." "I'm not a hero," I say. "I'm just done." She glances past me into the house, looking for something. Photos on the wall, signs of me breaking. Anything she can use to tell herself I'm still reachable. There's nothing. The entryway is clean. The lights are warm. The air is calm. My home is no longer a negotiation. "I need my things," she says, voice cracking at the edge. "Your personal items are boxed," I answer. "In the garage. I'll have them moved to the curb tomorrow at noon. You'll pick them up with a police escort if you want. You won't enter the house." Her eyes flash. "You're treating me like a criminal." I hold her gaze. "Then don't act like one." For a moment she just stands there in the rain, papers in hand, like she's waiting for me to soften. I don't insult her. I don't yell. I don't tell her what she did in graphic detail. I don't give her a scene she can replay later and use to paint me as the villain. I give her the only thing that matters: finality. "Goodbye, Emily," I say, and I close the door. The lock clicks. The chain drops. The system seals. Her voice becomes muffled noise on the other side of expensive wood. In the silence that follows, I don't feel empty. I feel clean, like a compromised system finally patched. Like a man who stopped asking for love from someone who only understood control. And for the first time in months, the quiet in my house isn't evidence anymore. It's peace.